Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to our final video on our login and sign up application. So in today's video, we'll be creating the login. So we'll be using the data we saved on our previous videos. We'll be using that as our username and password. And once the user click the login button, it will verify the information or the credentials that we entered from our database. So let's start. So we'll open the Visual Studio Code, and for the login, we'll be creating a method. So once the user click this login button, this will be executed. So we'll be adding the methods here. Then the login. And for the meantime, let's try to display a message first. Okay, so let's try that by clicking the login. Okay, so welcome. Now, we need to get the value we need to get the value of username and the password. So we'll be adding the B model property. And then we need to initialize the value into empty. So I'll just add the data. So let's try to display that, the value of the username. So we are not getting the value because we didn't define to our component the ion input and the ion button. Okay, so let's try that again. typing John, and so we're able to get the value of John. Okay, so next, so we'll be adding the condition. So let us first check. Once the user clicks on the login button, the first thing that will be executed is to verify if the username is not empty. So if it's empty, it will display a message which says please input a valid username. Okay, so let's try that again. So please input a valid username. So let's try to provide the username. So please input a valid password and then John. So it is working. Now the next thing that we are going to do is to create the Axios code, axios.pos. But before we use the Axios, we need to import that to our application. So import Axios from, of course, Axios library, and then pos is the URL, then catch, probably the error, then for the then for the catch, then for our pos, http ://localhost /sample app then /login.php. So later on we'll be creating this file, the login.php, then null, comma, the parameter. Okay, of course we need to pass the value of the username and the password to our URL or to our API. So the identifier will be username and this.txt username. Then copy, comma, password. So I forgot to add the params colon. So we're able to create the API. Now we're going to create the PHP part. Okay, so let's open the Notepad++, and in here we'll be saving that, save as. Then I'll be saving that as login.php. Then in here we'll be, of course, removing the two variables. I'll be sending that to username, and this one is password. And then this SQL, of course, we need to change that to select asterisk from TBL registration, where, of course, where username colon is equal to username. Then prepare. So okay, we'll just pass one variable. Then execute. After that, okay, so we'll be checking if there are if there is a record that we're able to retrieve from our database. Then after that, okay, we'll be defining the row is equal to then we'll be adding the if password verify. Then so we'll be encountering a problem here since the variable for the password is password. So we'll be changing that into H password. In here, comma, row, then password. Okay, so if we get the correct value for the username from our database, then this will be executed. Okay, so we'll be retrieving the value or the row that we get from our database. Then after that, we'll be comparing the value of the password to the password stored in our database. If successfully verified, it will display success, otherwise error. So we're going to check the content of the database. So we use the DB sample app. Then let's just open the content. Okay, so we have a username John, and I think the password of that is 12345. So let's try that, but it's for the meantime we need to convert our login page, the response. So we'll be adding the if statement here. If that data that message is equal to success, then else. For the meantime, it will display a message which is log in successfully. And otherwise, invalid username and password. So let's try that. So invalid username and password. 1 2 3 4 5 6. So invalid username, password. So we do not know the problem. So for the meantime, let's try to register new account so that we could verify. Okay, again, James. The address is Michigan. The username is James, and the password is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Submit. Okay, back. James. Login. So I think we do have a problem. Invalid username and password. I think we have a problem also with the username, since the username, the value for the username is root. So I think we need to add a letter H here so that we could prevent the error from happening. Okay, let's try that again. So log in. So I think we're getting the incorrect value, which is invalid username and password. So I found out the problem, and the problem is the length of the field is too short for the password. It cannot contain the complete hash equivalent for the password. So what I did is I adjusted the length of the password field into 100 in order to make it sure that the hash password is enough to store on our field. So as you can see, this is what I added, Jose Rizal, and the username is Jose, and the length is this one. It is longer than the first record that we added, which is the John Doe here. Since they have the same password, okay, so it's 1 2 3 4 5, and this one is also 1 2 3 4 5. Now we're going to fix the source code, and we're going to return the into the original. So just to remove, and I think we'll just copy this. And this one is success, and this one is error. Then let's just save, and let's just try the application. Okay, so Jose 1 2 3 4 5, then login. So login successfully. So to verify, we'll just add another record just to show you that this code is working. Okay, so we'll be adding a new record. So Andres Bonifacio, and for example, the address is Laguna. The username is Andres, and the password is, let's say, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and then submit. Okay, save. Let's try that. Okay, Andres, and then for example, the wrong password. Okay, so invalid username. Now we'll be adding the correct password, which is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and then login. So login successfully. Okay, so the source code is working. Now what we're going to do is, when you successfully log in, you will be directed to the home page. Okay, home page of the application instead of displaying a alert message. So let's try to do that by adding a page here. So we'll just copy home page and then paste, and then we'll just change that into rename. We'll just change that into main page. Okay, and we'll just change that to main page. This one also main page, and this one will be removing the content of this since we're not going to use that, and we'll just add welcome, a welcome text once the user is successfully logged into our application. First, we'll be removing the other statements that we are not going to use. This one also, even the data, the setup, and the methods. We'll be removing that all. Okay, so I think we need to remove the two statement, and try to save that. Okay, so there are no problems on our application or our main page. Now we go to the router, then we'll be importing that, and then we'll be changing that into main page. This one is also main page. Then this one will be changed to, okay, so let's say main. This one is main, and this one is, should be main page. Okay. Okay, so we're able to create the route for the main page. Now let's go back to our home page, which is the login. Then we'll be changing this one into this dot router dot push. Then okay, so the route for the main page is main. So automatically, once you successfully log into your application, you will be directed to the main page using the this.router.push. So take note, we have a $sign here. This.router.push/main, since /main is the path you specified to your main page. Okay, so let's try our application. Okay, so successfully login. So that's all for our login. Thank you for watching. See you on our next tutorial.